Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the World Forum in The Hague again. We are delighted that you are here with us at the Ministerial Roundtable of the REAIM Summit. And we are very much looking forward to all the statements that will be made by your country's ministers and vice ministers. I have a few procedural remarks for this roundtable. We have a tight time frame that we have to adhere to. That means that I will have to be very strict. You see a clock in the left top corner of the screens in the room, and it counts back from 3 minutes to 0. After 2 minutes, it will turn red. And when you exceed the 3 minutes, I will, unfortunately, have to interrupt you to kindly ask you to conclude your statements. A few additional notes. The US has requested a little bit more time than 3 minutes because it wishes to make an announcement, and we have honored that request. We have also honored the wish of the People's Republic of China to let its ambassador deliver a statement. And we have invited the Brazilian representative to speak, Brazil being the chair of the GGE on laws. We are very pleased that these big countries from various parts of the world have joined us in this dialogue. That is also what we aimed with our call to action that will be published on our website today. Adding your country's name means that you wish to continue this dialogue with us and to continue to work with us, and we're very grateful for that. Finally, before we start, I would like to point out the report that lies in front of you. It is a selection of reviewed research papers that will be published in the Ethics and Information Technology Journal that is part of Springer Nature. The collection consists of papers from academics coming from different countries and different research fields, such as technology, AI, international law, and ethics and philosophy. The papers were produced for the summit and play an important role in shaping our knowledge and the way we think about the development and design of AI, and we hope you will enjoy reading them. With that said, I will first give the floor to our hosts. His Excellency Wopke Hoekstra, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, His Excellency Park Yin, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, and Her Excellency Kajsa Ollongren, Minister of Defense of the Netherlands. Minister Hoekstra, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair, and dear friends, it's very good to see you here and good to see you survived lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, it was in 1995 that the international community adopted the protocol on blinding laser weapons. And together we agreed to stop these weapons before they were actually produced, before they were deployed. Blinding lasers stood for on the brink of a full-scale production and deployment, and you could argue that we were just in time. And while these weapons never saw the light of day, we can imagine the disastrous effects they would have had. In the words of the time, the lasers would be inhumane, abhorrent to the conscience of humanity, and unacceptable in the modern world. And today we stand at a similar moment in time. AI is the front line of arms control and will determine the future of warfare. As we speak, armies are investing heavily in AI, and again we stand on the brink of full-scale deployment. Yet this time, and we all acknowledge that the situation is much more complex. While the word and the name blinding laser describes the catastrophic impact, artificial intelligence is actually something very different. It is no more than a code that by nature is neither good nor evil. Indeed, it has the potential to make our world better and safer. And it means our efforts have to be very different from traditional arms control. Yet similar to that decisive moment when we decided there is no future for blinding weapons in our world, we are now also in time to shape our future, before we're presented with a done deal. We are in time to mitigate risks and to prevent AI from spiraling out of control. And we are in time to prevent AI from taking us to a place we simply don't want to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to admit that I myself and the colleagues I spoke to prior to this conference experienced a rather uncomfortable feeling. I actually think many of us are simply insufficiently familiar with the topic, that we find it hard to visualize what the consequences could be. And that if we are really honest with ourselves, of the 2,000 people at this conference, to put it mildly, we might not know the most of it. Yet while we are the lay people, we're also, you could say, the deal makers and the pavers of the road ahead. We can give the great ideas proposed at the REAIM Summit wings. We can prevent unwanted escalation and ensure that humans are held accountable. We can make AI in the military domain as ethical, as responsible, and as purposeful as we would want it to be. Meanwhile, we have the unique opportunity to expand and fortify the international legal order, which is, as we all acknowledge, under severe pressure. My call to all of you today is simple. Let's together lead the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Hoekstra. Minister Parkien, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Minister Hoekstra, Minister Ollengren, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. The Republic of Korea is very pleased to co-host the REAIM summit together with the Netherlands. The rapid development of technology is offering unprecedented opportunities to shape our world for the better. And artificial intelligence stands out as one of the most promising of these technologies. We all know that. And that is why Korea made a strategic decision to leverage AI as a catalyst for promoting social and economic progress. This year is widely considered to be a breakout year for AI, with ChatGPT taking the world by storm. Bill Gates even said that this will change the world. As we talk about the future of AI, I'm reminded of the thought-provoking book, Super Intelligence by Nick Bostrom, a philosopher from University of Oxford. Bostrom was ahead of us by more than 10 years, perhaps, in raising concerns that the development of AI could lead to machines replacing humans as the dominant life form on this planet. He argued that the responsible development and use of AI is especially critical in the military domain. Likewise, it is important to acknowledge that this cutting-edge technology presents new challenges that demand our collective attention. And the military domain is no exception, perhaps more pronounced. The integration of AI in military operations holds significant implications for our security. AI can help to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of military operations by enabling informed decision-making, quick responses, and reducing civilian casualties. With this in mind, Korea launched the Defense Innovation 4.0 initiative to incorporate AI and other advanced technologies into our defense capabilities. But the military use of AI raises important questions about accountability, transparency, and its responsible use. And tech leaders such as Elon Musk sounded the alarm that lethal autonomous weapons threaten to become the third revolution in warfare. It is in this context that Korea, in our aspiration to become a global pivotal state, is committed to working with partners to align the use of AI with our shared values and aspirations. On our part, Korea established a national strategy and ethical standards under the theme of AI for humanity, focusing on human dignity, public good, and the proper use of technology. Going forward, the international community should come together to find ways to leverage the power of AI while mitigating its risks. And in my view, we should prioritize the following. First, we need to raise international awareness on the benefits and risks of AI and ways to promote its responsible use, especially in the military domain. Secondly, we should promote a multi-stakeholder approach that brings together governments, the private sector, academia, and the civil society in understanding and addressing the threat. Lastly, we must focus on building confidence and trust to reduce the risks posed by AI through information sharing and dialogue, like we have gathered this today. Ladies and gentlemen, as I made my way to The Hague, I took the opportunity to ask chatbot's view on this subject. The chatbot eloquently replied to me that it requires the creation of ethical guidelines, principles, and frameworks to govern AI systems. Very clever and well-balanced. And that we should ensure that these systems are transparent, accountable, and aligned with international humanitarian law. With that thought in mind, I encourage all the participants to actively engage in discussions on this vital issue. Together, we can find innovative solutions to harness the power of AI and build a more prosperous and secure the future. President Yoon and Prime Minister Mark Rutte agreed to elevate our bilateral relationship to strategic partners and installed a new strategic dialogue. And our co-hosting of this event is in line with our efforts to further expand our cooperation in the strategic domain of advanced digital realms. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate Netherlands' exceptional leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. Minister Ollongren, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Esteemed guests, dear friends, I think we all feel a sense of urgency, and that is because we meet at a critical time. We feel that we need to stay ahead of the curve and that we need to act now. And it should come as no surprise that the Netherlands is ambitious and wants to play this constructive and facilitating role in furthering this global dialogue that we have started on the ethical use of AI in the military domain. Because from the military perspective, there are so many applications for AI. It's about information gathering, but also about processing information. It's about sensor and effector prioritization. It's about automated recognition, for instance, when detecting potential targets. That is what can be done with this, and that is why we also need to have this regulatory framework. And I would focus on 4 points very briefly. Interoperability. So we need to learn from current challenges that we face when it comes to the interoperability of conventional military equipment, So the interoperability of AI systems needs to be one of the criteria in development. How can we ensure this? Second, civilian harm. We need to move away from the idea that military AI only increases risks to civilians. It can also be an opportunity to prevent it if correctly applied. So how can we make sure that this happens? Knowledge sharing. Lots of public and private stakeholders are here today with us. But government cannot continue to rely completely on the private sector when it comes to AI. So I think we have to have the best and the brightest also on our sides. How can we ensure specific knowledge? When it comes to that common knowledge, we need to deal with this question. And last but not least, a value-based and meaningful human control. Development and the use of AI must conform to the values that we share. It has to conform to, having a transparent society where humans always maintain this control over the applications, and then you will make the applications better. But who decides on the parameters of this human control? And how do we embed the values that we share in the system that we build? These are important questions. They're difficult to answer, but I'm very glad that you're all here to discuss it with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. With these introductions, we come to our tour de table, and I would like to first give the floor to the Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Montenegro.
Thank you very much. Dear Madam Chairman, dear colleagues, let me express my appreciation to the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea for hosting today's events and recognize the importance of the artificial intelligence. The number of participants today is the best indicator of rising awareness of AI significance in the military domain in current unpredictable and complex environment. The 21st century could be called the most important century for the humanity so far, and rightfully so because of the development of AI that could dramatically speed up our scientific, technological, and any other advancement. People have always been fascinated by technology changes, and right now we are living amidst the greatest development in our history. Artificial intelligence emerged to be the next big thing, where breakthrough innovation are coming into daylight across the world. Artificial intelligence has the potential to be used for some good things, including security and preventing terroristic attacks, reducing the number of the conflicts, and developing new technologies addressing global problems such as climate change and pandemics. Being one of the dual-use technologies, there is also the another side of the medal of AI. It can be used to violate human rights and freedoms, including targeted monitoring and discrimination against certain groups. Facing an age of new and distributive technology with rapid and large-scale challenge is necessary to create clear rules and principles on the framework for monitoring and control of use of AI within military domain. Therefore, there should be a A3 framework formula for proper use of AI. The A3 formula could be as follows: 1. Ethics, 2. Expertise, and 3. Exchange of information. Ethics dimension, military use of AI, and should be ethical, responsible, and contribute to the international security and stability with the respect of international law, especially humanitarian law and democratic principles and values. When it comes to expertise, research, development, use of AI should be conducted by the subject matter experts in order to minimize potential of consequences. We need scientific, engineering, and other participation to fully comprehend and anticipate the implication of challenge resulting for the introduction of AI across the military domain.
Excellent. Can I kindly ask you to conclude your statement?
Exchange information of military across the civil sector and industry in field of AI is also crucial important to build the trust among the innovation community and user of the society in general. To conclude, science and artificial intelligence may be the most important technology we ever develop. Given the stage, ensuring a safe use beneficially is one of the best ways we can safeguard the long-term future. Montenegro commends today's forum and support all future discussion on the best use of AI technology in the interest of the global security. In light of that, we would welcome US initiative paving the path for researching future consensus of articulating north and responsibly military use of EA. Thank you very much and sorry for that.
Thank you very much and sorry for interrupting you. We are now going to look at a video message from the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Australia. And hopefully that will be projected here.
My thanks to the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea for their leadership in co-hosting this timely summit on responsible artificial intelligence in the military domain. For Australia, as for many countries, AI represents a critical suite of technologies with the potential to deliver significant benefits. In the military context, Australia is building AI capability, including through joint initiatives between the Australian Government and industry. Our goal is to boost capability while building expertise in Australia's industry and innovation sectors. However, we are very conscious that along with potential benefits, the military application of AI generates new potential risks. Here in the Indo-Pacific, we are witnessing the largest military build-up anywhere in the world in the post-war period, with limited transparency and reassurance. All countries have an obligation to ask ourselves how we can each use our national power, our influence, our networks, our capabilities to avert catastrophic conflict. So Australia recognises the vital importance of ensuring AI technologies are developed and used responsibly in a civilian and military context. The use of AI in armed conflict must of course comply with international humanitarian law. And the growing use of AI must be consistent with our efforts to shape the region and the world we want, stable, prosperous, secure and respectful of sovereignty. To that end, Australia is pleased to support the Netherlands and Republic of Korea's Summit Declaration. I also want to mention the efforts of the United States to elaborate norms around the responsible military use of these technologies. Our engagement will reflect a strong record of Australian contributions to responsible artificial intelligence more broadly. This includes as a proud co-founder of the Global Partnership on AI. Our AI ethics framework reflects our commitment to AI that is safe, secure, reliable, and accords with the OECD's AI principles. As these technologies develop, Australia will continue to engage actively in the international agenda towards the responsible development, deployment, and application of AI in the military domain. Thank you.
I now give the floor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Bulgaria.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations to the host country for organizing this very topical event. The emergence of new technologies, including AI, has set a new course of development in the civil and the military domain. It involves stakeholders from all areas of our societies and creates the need for a cohesion in promoting adherence to the international legal obligations and responsible, reliable, restrained, limited, and first and foremost, ethical use and development of such technologies worldwide. The risk is that the international actors trying to erode the current international legal order and peace will heavily invest in such technologies, not having restraints of principles and values whatsoever from using AI and big data offensively. Currently, they are actively conducting cyber attacks, IP theft, and industrial espionage, while also endangering infrastructure and communications. Preserving the technological edge against those who use the AI for malign purposes is critical, as it serves as a deterrence and defense. Fostering engagements with the private sector and academia is crucial for maintaining this edge. I would like to stress out the importance of facilitating further the information and data sharing among allies and like-minded partners who share the value of responsible use of AI. By strengthening cooperation in this domain, we can prepare a better and more resilient digital security architecture worldwide. We echo the need of strategical consideration when exporting AI and big data tech to third countries, which may use it for malign and non-transparent military purposes. Investment in such technologies in cooperation between the public, the private, and the academia sectors should be prioritized within states that are committed to their responsible use, which in turn will also increase the technological capabilities and resilience. Bulgaria shares the conviction in the need of human involvement, control, and decision-making over the AI, the necessity of precise operational guidelines resulting in clearly defined policies and doctrines, the need of advanced working methods and procedures. Bulgaria expresses its support for the REAIM call for action on AI, and on this basis of preliminary consideration, we will be ready to support the political declaration on responsible military use of artificial intelligence and autonomy that is expected to be announced by the United States, as it underlines the importance of the need to use and implement this technology in a responsible manner within international law. Thank you.
Thank you. I now give the floor to the Minister of Digital Economy and Entrepreneurship from the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan.
Your Excellency, Chair, Your Excellencies, thank you very much and good afternoon to all of you. It's my privilege to be here today to address a very important topic, which is the responsible use of artificial intelligence in the military domain. As we continue to make advancement in technology, we must also ensure that we are utilizing these advancements in a manner that is responsible, ethical, and in line with our values as a society. And when we're talking about AI, we're not talking about just a technology, we're talking about a simulation of the superhuman brain who just passed the exams for medicine and engineering and just starting. So it's so unpredictable where it's gonna go moving forward. In the military field, AI is used to support various operations and decision-making processes, ranging from surveillance, training, and simulation. The goal of using AI in military is to increase efficiency, effectiveness, and situational awareness while reducing the risk to human lives. And we need to increase the capability of our militaries in dealing with AI, because if they don't, someone else is gonna use this technology in a way and in a way that might harm the lives or risk the lives of people, and military and security departments need to be up to it to be able to or save their countries from such AI-enabled attacks. However, the military domain presents a unique challenge when it comes to the use of AI. On one hand, AI has the potential to revolutionize the way we conduct military operations and make our troops safer. On the other hand, the deployment of AI in the military context raises serious ethical and legal concerns, including issues of accountability for autonomous weapons and the potential of misuse, transparency, and the risk of unintended harm to civilians. It's our responsibility as leaders to ensure that we are using AI in a responsible and ethical manner. And this is a big question, how to do that. This is very important, and we need to work together to answer this big question. This requires us to consider the potential consequences of AI systems, both positive and negative, and to take steps to mitigate any harm. Just to conclude, because it's still long, I will go straight to the principles that we need to follow. A number of principles we need to stress at, such as responsibility and accountability, transparency, non-discriminatory, human control, robustness, and security, and finally, privacy protection. Those are main principles we need to focus at when we are dealing with AI. I think I finished my time. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you indeed for helping me getting you in the end all in the group picture by staying within the time limit. I now give the floor to the Minister of Defense of Norway.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much to the Netherlands and to the Republic of Korea for hosting us, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to attend this important summit. And I will say I'm here to learn and to discuss, and I think we got off to a good start with our working lunch just before, so thank you so much for that. I know many of you already have quite mature ideas on how to harvest the benefits of artificial intelligence in your armed forces and have strategies in place on how to implement the use of AI. Norway is not yet there, but I'm glad to tell you that I have recently prepared our own Norwegian Defense Artificial Intelligence strategy for approval by the government. An important ambition will, of course, be that our defense sector will aim to exploit the potential of artificial intelligence to further our security and defense policy goals. This will be ensured by the defense sector identifying, developing, implementing and applying artificial intelligence in a responsible manner. Whilst AI will lead to substantial benefits both from military and civilian sectors, it also entails a number of challenges related to international law, as well as ethical, humanitarian and military considerations. In our strategy, I have therefore emphasized that the development and use of AI must comply with applicable international humanitarian law, including its fundamental principles. At the same time, we want to be a part of international efforts to strengthen regulations and responsible development and behavior. In the run-up to this conference, we have been introduced to 2 papers, one political declaration from the United States and one call to action from the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea, both focusing on responsible use of AI. The papers are addressing different audiences, but are at the same time much complementary. They are both very much in line with our defense AI strategy, and I have therefore no reservations in both endorsing the United States political declaration and supporting the REAIM call to action. And for those of you participating in the US Department of Defense-led initiative, AI Partnership for Defense, I am pleased to announce that Norway will co-host the next meeting in this important group in June this year. So again, I would like to thank the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea for hosting this important summit. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And now give the floor to the Minister of Defense of the Republic of Rwanda.
Good afternoon. First of all, I will thank the organizers of this important initiative on responsible AI in the military domain. It's my great honor and pleasure to be part of this summit, and thank you for inviting my country, Rwanda. Though Rwanda is a developing country, we believe on and support the area of information technology, particularly the AI, as one of the enabler of our today and future way of living. In military domain, we have established in the Ministry of Defense a department of research and development to speed up our development agenda in military operations that involved artificial intelligence. Therefore, we will continue to support the REAIM initiative and request a good and close collaboration of all stakeholders for the better future of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I now give the floor to the Federal Councillor of Defense, Civil Protection and Sport DDPS from the Swiss Confederation.
Chair, dear ministers, ladies and gentlemen, many thanks to Minister Ollongren and the Minister Hoekstra and Park for hosting the summit. Not far from us, Ukraine is fighting back heroically and under immense sacrifices against Russia's aggression. Already at the outset of the war, the dual use of AI technology was evident. By some reports, face recognition technology has never before been used to this extent in a major conflict. Integrating AI into the military domain can bring huge benefits to the armed forces. However, we cannot ignore risks and ethical considerations. We must demand accountability, human control, and transparency. While combining AI and the military, we must first ask ourselves what problem we want to solve and which specific tasks we are willing to hand over to AI. We have the responsibility to make sure that AI benefits society and does not escalate risks. To do so, we need to promote a shared understanding of what responsible use is. It is essential that international law and international humanitarian law are respected at all times. What we need are rules and normative frameworks. To that end, we as Ministers of Defense and Foreign Affairs must engage with the private sector, including those developing new technologies. Such cooperation will help us mitigate the risks without turning down the huge positive potential of this technology. Switzerland welcomes and supports the Dutch initiative that highlights some of these key questions regarding the responsible use of AI in the military domain. This is why we are committed to actively supporting international efforts to do just that. This commitment is also reflected in Switzerland's arms control and disarmament strategy. Finally, Switzerland fully endorses the REAIM call to action because it puts the governance of AI on the international agenda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I now give the floor to the Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security of the United States of America.
Thank you, Ministers Hoekstra, Ollongren, and Park, for inviting us to this summit and for the opportunity to deliver these remarks. We are grateful. We commend the Netherlands and the government of Korea for launching this initiative on the responsible development and use of artificial intelligence in the military domain, and for all the effort you have put into ensuring that the summit is a success. President Biden stated during the U.S. State of the Union address last week that we are not bystanders to history. Those of us in this room and the organizations we represent are empowered, dare I say responsible, to ensure advancements in our institutions and international norms keep pace with advancements in technology. I'll be the first to admit this is easier said than done. We are not bystanders to history. Our actions will write our collective history. Artificial intelligence is a transformational general-purpose technology that has altered our human ambitions and insights in positive ways. The opportunities and risks of harnessing the power of this novel technology for economies and societies, not just militaries, will alter the course of history in ways unknown. For example, applications of AI could enhance arms control by helping us solve complex verification challenges and increase confidence in states' commitments. As Secretary Blinken said, we want to ensure that as AI and related technologies transform how we live, how we work, and how we compete, how we defend ourselves, that we're staying ahead of change, indeed that we are shaping change, and critically, making sure it delivers for our people. This is not just important for the United States, it is important for the world. As we have discussed these past few days, advancements in this technology will fundamentally alter militaries around the world, large and small. We already see that the way that artificial intelligence could shape the future of militaries in Ukraine. Every day in Ukraine, we see uses of AI, from how Ukrainian soldiers possess data and analyze the situation on the battlefield, to how Ukraine's population assesses the internet and the broader world. The United States approaches using artificial intelligence for military purposes from the perspective of responsible speed, meaning our attempts harness the benefits of AI have to be accompanied by a focus on safe and responsible behavior that is consistent with the law of war and international humanitarian law. Inflection point is a term used frequently as of late, but for good reason. Collectively, we have an opportunity to shape the way militaries develop and use AI. Should we use the technology to reduce civilian casualties in conflicts? Should we use this technology to avoid miscalculation? Of course, these are questions to which we will all agree on an answer. But there are also harder questions where we might not always agree. We have unique opportunity to get ahead of the game and use this summit as the first step towards creating strong norms of responsible behavior surrounding military uses of AI. It is time to turn words into action. The United States is here today to announce a political declaration on responsible military use of artificial intelligence and autonomy. We invite all states to join us in implementing international norms as it pertains to the military development and use of AI and autonomy. We are inspired by this summit and believe our declaration can be a focal point for international cooperation. It is a tangible representation of how this summit can yield real benefits for international stability. I want to tell you more about why this is so important and how working together can enhance international stability. AI will transform many things that militaries do, from managing logistics to how they train and operate. No doubt this transformation can bring many benefits. Responsible militaries will use AI capabilities to improve decision-making and situational awareness, helping them avoid unintended engagements. AI capabilities will increase accuracy and precision in the use of force which will also help strengthen implementation of international humanitarian laws protections for civilians. Military use of AI can make the world safer. However, due to the fragility of many AI systems, states that rush to harness AI without a careful, principled approach could deploy systems with unpredictable consequences. Whether this is because the systems are poorly designed, inadequately tested, or commanders and operators do not possess an adequate understanding of the capabilities and limitations of those systems. The same is true across every sector. Safe and responsible norms are needed beyond military applications, such as education, banking, and law enforcement applications. Approaching military applications of AI and autonomy from a responsible speed perspective means we must innovate quickly to take advantage of the rate of technological change and to harness the benefits of AI. But we must do this safely and responsibly. What does this mean in practice, given the risks that I have just laid out and that many at the summit have identified? The United States has taken several strides to make the principles and practices that guide our approach to AI in the military domain transparent through DoD's AI ethical principles and responsible AI strategy and implementation pathway, both of which are publicly available. The United States is committed to developing systems that are reliable, ensuring that operators can employ any weapon systems that use AI technologies with appropriate care and in accordance with applicable domestic and international law, and ensuring human accountability is retained. In addition, we are committed to ensuring that AI capabilities used during military operations are employed within a responsible human chain of command and control. Additionally, the United States, United Kingdom, and France already made a joint commitment to maintain human control and involvement in all actions to informing and executing sovereign decisions concerning nuclear weapons employment. This existing statement spells out clearly what responsible states with us today undoubtedly agree on. Let's ensure this most dangerous of military technologies is firmly under human supervision. We're very proud of our work in this area, and it reflects our deep commitment to promoting transparency, predictability, and stability in the adoption of emerging military technologies. However, this is a shared challenge for the international community. Action at the national level is not sufficient to address the risks. Our collective ability as responsible states to converge on an understanding of responsible state behavior can advance our collective security and demonstrate our collective leadership on the responsible use of military AI technology. This is a theme we have heard many times at this conference, and the United States stands firmly in agreement. As a rapidly changing technology, we have an obligation to create strong norms of responsible behavior concerning military uses of AI, and in a way that keeps in mind that applications of AI by militaries will undoubtedly change in the coming years. This is why we are launching our political declaration on responsible military use of artificial intelligence and autonomy at the REAIM Summit. We have spoken to many countries about this initiative already, and we are grateful for the support and engagement we have received so far. While this is an American document at present, it reflects what we believe are shared values that many responsible states hold. This declaration consists of voluntary guidelines describing best practices for use of AI in a military context. The aim of the declaration is to establish standards for responsible behavior and put in place measures to increase transparency, communication, and reduce risk of an inadvertent conflict and escalation. The norms described in the declaration will provide a basis to share lessons learned from our experience to help guide states' development and deployment of military AI. It includes commitments such as steps to ensure that relevant personnel exercise appropriate care, including appropriate levels of human judgment in the development, deployment, and use of military AI capabilities. Second, engineer military AI capabilities so that they possess the ability to avoid unintended consequences and the ability to disengage or deactivate deployed systems that demonstrate unintended behavior. 3, ensure that military AI capabilities are developed with auditable methodologies, data sources, design procedures, and documentation. 4, minimize unintended bias in military AI applications. And 5, ensure compliance with international law, in particular international humanitarian law. These strong and transparent norms apply across military domains, regardless of a system's functionality or scope of potential harm. Adherence to these principles would ensure military capabilities are reliable and reduce the mutual risk posed by irresponsible use of AI, including accidents and inadvertent escalation. They also preserve the right of self-defense and states' ability to responsibly develop and use military AI. We are making the text of the declaration available to review. We recognize that states are very widely in their approaches and internal deliberations on military AI policies. Still, we have an opportunity to work together to make a powerful international statement about responsible military uses of AI and autonomy. We have put a lot of work and thought into the principles enumerated in this declaration, and we welcome efforts to strengthen this document now and after the summit. We have talked with many states before and during the summit, and we are encouraged by what seems like an emerging shared commitment to responsible behavior. We hope to get your feedback and partnership to turn words into action in ways that strengthen international norms and make it possible for all states here today to endorse this declaration. This is the spirit of this summit come to life and an outcome we should all be able to embrace. In the coming weeks, we hope to work with like-minded states to discuss implementation pathways that reinforce strong international norms. We also hope that this declaration is the beginning of a process. There is much work to be done to develop a shared understanding. We need further engagement and opportunities like the REAIM Summit to make the norms the declaration promotes a reality through follow-up dialogue, working conversations on implementation, and more. We want to emphasize again that we are open to engagement with any country that is interested in joining us in taking this crucial first step toward building an international consensus on responsible application of AI and autonomy in the military domain. We have a unique opportunity here at the dawn of the military AI area to set strong norms of responsible behavior. We want to take this step forward together with the international community. So let me close and again thank you, ministers, for your country's work on these challenging issues. And thanks to everyone here for listening and for your upcoming engagement. We look forward to further discussions at this summit and continuing the dialogue on responsible AI in the military domain. Thank you.
Thank you for this concrete initiative. I now give the floor to the Vice Minister of Defense and the Secretary General of the Republic of Austria.
Thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me also begin by thanking the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea for hosting today's event and for the great hospitality we are all enjoying here. AI is one of the critical technologies of the 21st century. The use of more intelligent computer systems is rising in many areas where human intelligence was previously required to make meaningful decisions. One of those areas affected by this AI revolution is the military domain. High interdependence and complexity characterize the current and future challenges and threats to our security. To minimize those risks to our security, modern and mission-capable forces will therefore rely on AI-based systems. The Austrian armed forces are placing a particular emphasis on integrating these new technologies into our armed forces' further development and evolution. These efforts aim to enable our armed forces to perform the constitutional tasks more effectively and efficiently and to remain interoperable with our partners. To be very clear, any military use of AI must be conducted responsibly. We must stay fully aware of possible risks and always act according to our ethical and legal principles. To counter these possible risks, Austria, in its position as a constitutionally, militarily neutral state, sees itself as having a responsibility to highlight humanitarian principles in the international discourse. International law, including international humanitarian law and human rights law, as well as ethical principles, are the guiding principles for our action. These norms must also remain the guiding principles for actions in the face of advancing technological innovations and emerging technological leaps in the field of artificial intelligence. The development of trustworthy AI and ensuring meaningful human control over the use of autonomous weapon systems are two examples to be cited. Austria sees a need to regulate autonomous weapon systems internationally and actively seeks a broad global consensus with our international and European partners. There is hardly any other technology that provokes as many uncertainties and fears in our society as AI. This applies to the use of AI in the civilian sector, but it's particularly true for its military applications. To counter those fears, transparency and dialogue are needed first and foremost. These are the prerequisites for an objective view of this crucial technology and allow an accurate assessment of the associated opportunities and risks. Austria is therefore committed to promote a human-centric and human rights-based approach to the development, deployment and use of artificial intelligence. Austria sees the REAIM conference as a valuable initiative and important contribution to international discussions. We highly value the multi-stakeholder format and high quality of the debate throughout the last 2 days that should be linked with other initiatives like the group of governmental experts in Geneva and other UN bodies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to the Deputy Minister for Defense of the Czech Republic.
Thank you, Chair. Dear ministers, colleagues, artificial intelligence is considered as one of the most disruptive of the so-called emerging and disruptive technologies. AI will have profound impact on the future of our civilization in the whole variety of activities ranging from businesses to education, health, and transport. The same effect is expected in the domain of warfare. All major powers are investing great amounts of money, effort, and talent into developing AI. The security of the Czech Republic is given by its membership within the EU and NATO. And both these organizations acknowledged that the technology has always been a foundation of deterrence and defense capabilities. The Czech Republic will foster and protect its capacities in the emerging and disruptive technologies, especially in the AI. But what exactly is the effect on AI on defense and security? In a single word, revolutionary. AI will have decisive impact across all current military domains, land, sea, air, space, and cyber, as well as vertically across all levels of command from tactical to strategic one. AI will allow capabilities such as C4I Star operate at much faster speed and to access extensive amount of data from various sectors. Data will hugely improve the situational awareness, management, and decision-making during the deployment of forces in the real time. AI will also make our systems of planning much more efficient. Training will be less costly and more effective through simulation and the use of augmented virtual reality. Having said that, the importance of AI will be decisive for the capability of our armed forces in fulfilling their primary missions. Both NATO and the EU has recently started all sorts of initiatives aimed at helping the military tap into these technologies, such as NATO Innovation Fund, Defense Accelerator Diana, or a hub for European Defense Innovation, HEDI. And I'm very glad that the Czech Republic has been involved in all these ultimately crucial activities from the very beginning. AI need to be conducted in a transparent way and guided by principles of responsible use. The Czech Republic supports international cooperation and sharing best practices because, simply put, we are stronger together. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to the State Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Republic of Finland.
Ministers, Your Excellencies, dear distinguished guests. First, let me thank the Netherlands and South Korea for convening us here in The Hague and for organizing the conference on a topic that could not be more relevant at the moment. The technologies we use are developing at an incredible pace, and we don't even know today which applications and solutions we will be using in a couple of years' time. We also want to commend the organizers for the broad and inclusive multi-stakeholder approach, which is definitely needed when discussing such a complex issue. Bringing together representatives of governments, military, academia, and industry is such an impressive array, and it's a major achievement for this conference. So thank you very much. We need everyone on board when discussing the implications of AI. The development of AI is so fast-paced at the moment that we really need to take care that the political discussions are not lagging too far behind. And that's why this kind of roundtables are also very much needed, both internationally but also on a national level. Finland has been a long-standing advocate of bringing this discussion to the forefront, and we have been actively engaging in various fora regarding digitalization and defense. We don't see this conference as an isolated event, but rather as a part of a process where we can intensify our dialogue and shared understanding on this issue. These both are urgently needed, and since we are discussing AI at length here today, what it means exactly, how it can be used responsibly, and how it should be governed in a military context, we thought it would be fitting to consult also some artificial intelligence on this topic. When asked about which concrete actions need to be taken around the responsible application of artificial intelligence in the military context, ChatGPT, which we all are familiar with at the moment, underscored the need to develop ethical framework to ensure responsible application, stressed also the importance of transparency on how AI is used, and reminded to strengthen cybersecurity to protect our AI system from attacks. In addition, it further emphasized the need to foster international cooperation and public discourse, both of which we are doing today in person. This is only one example and one angle to the discussions, but it also shows that applying AI in new contexts is the new normal. This is evident also in the military context. We all recognize that while the use of artificial intelligence in the military domain can produce some great benefits, including better effectiveness and safety, there are also some major ethical, technical, and legal challenges that need to be considered. The only way to do that is to step up and intensify our dialogue on how these issues should be addressed, how the main problems and risks should be mitigated and governed, and how an ethical approach can be ensured. Moreover, we need to find pathways for mitigation and governance in such a way which doesn't hinder the development of useful technologies and applications for civilian use.
Excellency, can I ask you to summarize your statement?
This is my last sentence. When we are discussing possible governance models and frameworks for the military use of AI, we must ensure that they are designed and used in a responsible manner and in accordance with international law. Your Excellencies, we need to move the dialogue forward, and Finland is fully on board to contribute on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now the floor goes to the Undersecretary for Multilateral Affairs of the Secretariat of State of the Holy See.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, let me thank, first of all, the governments of the Netherlands and South Korea for organizing this important summit. The OLC welcomes this summit as a way to promote a sense of shared responsibility and the common good, including in the use of artificial intelligence. Indeed, the complex interaction between civilian and military networks could trigger several security issues. In this regard, the OLC shares many ethical concerns set out in the REAIM call to action. As Pope Francis has pointed out, the indisputable benefit that humanity will be able to draw from technological progress depends on the degree to which the new possibilities at our disposal are employed in an ethical manner. This correlation requires an adequate development of responsibility and of values alongside the vast technological progress underway. The respect, interpretation, and application of key rules and principles of IHL, such as distinction, proportionality, and precautions, requires prudential judgment, good faith, and the timely assessment of specific context and situation for which the human person is fundamental. In this regard, to speak of responsible AI is contradictory. The ULC reiterates the need to preserve and justify the difference between persons and objects. AI systems can, at best, execute instructions and simulate behaviors. However, reality can never be reduced to a mere simulation of itself, and it is important to insist on the real danger of AI being used to deform and falsify reality and conduct a false information war. Important decision-making powers over the use of force cannot be delegated to a weapon system whose behavior is unpredictable or whose entire purpose and scope of operation are not well defined or known, as it is the case for the self-learning autonomous weapon systems. These concerns are not intended to hinder research, development, and use of technologies. They are meant to orient them towards an appropriate useful horizon that is not based merely on the criteria of utility or efficiency, but on respecting human dignity and furthering the common good of humanity for humanity. It is for these reasons that the ULC has suggested establishing an international agency for artificial intelligence with the full participation of all states in this exchange of AI-related technology for peaceful uses. This would limit unintended consequences of such use and contribute to reducing inequalities by promoting AI for civilian application. In a world rife with conflict and injustice, let us use our human intelligence to place artificial intelligence at the service of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I still have about 9 speakers on my list, and we are very tight with the time, so I'm extremely grateful for everybody who can stay under the 3 minutes. I now give the floor to the Governor of the National Resilience Institute of the Republic of Indonesia.
Thank you, Chair. The development of AI is predicted to disrupt warfare and encourage the revolution of military affairs. Is this revolution finally present the ultimate weapon, one perfect weapon that it is used will guarantee victory, or offering a new platform that can make war becomes unwinnable? War will be obsolete. Of course, disruption presents several risks. The first risk, the advantages of autonomous system create the risk that leaders will resort to using armed autonomous system instead of pursuing non-military option. In this way, the threshold for military action will be lower. Second, as autonomous systems are more regularly deployed, there is a risk that military action will be executed rapidly, therefore decreasing space for diplomatic negotiation. Third, the cost of developing an AI-related platform is relatively low. It makes these technologies accessible to many kinds of actors, including terrorist groups. The last risk, AI-enabled systems might become so advanced to the point that they undermine second strike capabilities that is essential to deterrence. The development of military AI presents a range of risks to be addressed, including ethical risks. We see that debates on military AI beyond autonomous weapon systems are under discuss. Indonesia is in position to endorse global multi-stakeholder dialogue to discuss ethical framework that take into account AI's unique characteristics and its potential for unintended consequences. Indonesia will continue to engage in global forums that try to strengthen responsible artificial intelligence approach for military domain. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I now give the floor to the Vice Minister of Defense from Japan.
Thank you very much. We are very much grateful for the initiative taken by the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea to hold this meeting. Combined with the digitization in the society and the improvement of computer processing capabilities, AI technology and its social implementation are expected to make further progress, especially in the civilian sector. It has been pointed out that this technology can also be used in a variety of military applications. It is truly timely to work towards the international agenda for responsible and appropriate use of AI technology in the military domain. The government of Japan hereby expresses its readiness to actively contribute to the future considerations of this matter. Since AI is a relatively new technology in the military domain, it is necessary for countries to make careful considerations so that they can appropriately mitigate and avoid the risks of unintended consequences of this technology. The use of AI has great significance for the security of each country, from the perspectives of rapid information analysis, reduction of human errors, and labor saving and full automation. We plan to intensively promote the use of AI in the areas such as cybersecurity, command and control, detection and identification, intelligence, logistics, and unmanned equipment. However, since AI technologies could potentially cause serious damage if used inappropriately, it is necessary to acknowledge that responsibility and accountability are imposed on the state and the command system line pertaining to the deployment and use of AI. It is important to accurately understand the characteristics of AI and exercise the necessary control in the process of advancement in autonomy. In addition, in order to maintain and improve the accuracy of AI, it is necessary to continue the process of collecting, analyzing, learning, and testing vast amount of fair data. It is also necessary to conduct education and training so that AI can be used appropriately. We can also learn from technical and institutional knowledge in the industrial and academic communities. Multi-stakeholder discussions will provide useful perspectives on the responsible use of AI in the military domain. As we go forward, it is necessary to conduct research on efficient methods to minimize the disadvantages of AI while maintaining its benefits and continue to develop the discussions towards international rulemaking. In addition, those points that I have mentioned so far are included in the draft political declaration presented by the United States government, and Japan will also support this initiative. We hope discussion on this draft declaration would make progress and develop into workable and universal international rules concerning the responsible use of AI in the military domain in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to the Vice Minister of Defense of the Republic of Lithuania.
Thank you, Chair. And let me join by extending my gratitude to the host of this summit. As Lithuania is currently preparing to host a NATO summit, we understand and appreciate very much all the efforts made to organize such a big event. But coming to the topic, it's obvious that today we are facing so many security challenges, including conventional war in Europe, in Ukraine, and technology development makes this our security picture more complex. And it's also obvious that development of technologies gives not only challenges but also opportunities. And artificial intelligence offers great opportunity and can be important enabling technology for defense. But at this stage, countries, at this moment, countries have a different expertise and different experience. And for example, Lithuania has some artificial intelligence-related expertise in defense industry and academia, but it's also obvious that countries will continue to move at different pace. So, having this in mind, we very much support the initiative to find a common ground at the international level, and we believe that it's very important to coordinate our activities in order to assure adequate protection of big data, of exchanging of our lessons learned, and protection of possible leaking of know-how to adversary actors. So having all this in mind, and of course, I just forgot to say that it's important that the development of artificial intelligence should be and has be compliant with international law. So having this in mind, we recognize the call to action of this summit, and we very much support cooperation and dialogue between countries, between different stakeholders and academia, different disciplines. We believe that it's only way to ensure responsible development, deployment, and use of artificial intelligence in the military domain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I would like to commend the Government of Kingdom of Netherlands and the Government of the Republic of Korea for undertaking the efforts to host this international conference on responsible artificial intelligence in military domain. AI has tremendous potential to improve the health and well-being of individuals, communities, and states, as well as contribute to the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Certain AI applications, however, may have a negative impact on international peace and security by raising security concerns, exacerbating conflicts, or reducing human control over weapons of war. The risks of introducing AI into the military domain are not negligible, although international discourse on lethal autonomous weapon system receives more attention in certain international fora. There are various potential risks from military applications of AI, such as over-reliance on AI systems and potential arms race that could disrupt the preservation of international peace and security. That notwithstanding, we are also of the view that it is important not to be an alarmist when it comes to the application of AI in the military domain. Military application of AI could bring numerous benefits, including enabling states to prevent endangering human lives or using humans for tasks that do not require their ingenuity. To safely realize these potential gains, it is necessary to embark on approaches that could contribute to developing a more cooperative future that promotes multilateral cooperation. Such may include confidence-building measures and intergovernmental approaches. Ladies and gentlemen, in this regard, Malaysia welcomes the opportunity for states to learn from one another, communicate and innovate around the challenges posed by military application of AI, including via cross-regional exchanges and capacity-building programs. In this connection, Malaysia will also continue to closely monitor the developments concerning AI in the military domain at the regional and international levels. In conclusion, let us gain inspiration from today's gathering. To sum up, the spirit of constructive engagement and collaboration in charting a new path in the fast-evolving realm of responsible artificial intelligence in the military domain. Such endeavor must be accompanied by a clear conscience and guiding principles as we march towards the goals of preserving international peace and security and avoiding conflict. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Then I give the floor to the Undersecretary of Multilateral Affairs and International Economic Relations of the Republic of the Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our profound gratitude to the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea for bringing us together on this important topic, important enough to discuss during these very trying times for global security. The research and development of AI is progressing at a very rapid pace and does hold great promise. We recognize the potential benefits of AI, there's no question about it. But at present, AI has divided the world into have and have-nots. At the same time, in the military domain, AI raises serious humanitarian, legal, security, and ethical concerns. Speaking before the United Nations General Assembly last year, President Ferdinand Marcos identified new technologies such as AI as among the most pressing of global challenges and called for the development of international norms and rules to ensure their responsible and ethical use. For my country, Madam Chair, the application of AI for military purposes has clear risks. There are also grave dangers in extending AI to the development and delivery of nuclear weapons. Hence, we strongly oppose such application and believe they must be prohibited. Human beings must at all times exert control and judgment over weapon systems to ensure compliance with international and humanitarian law and accountability, state responsibility for the use of force. It is these principles foremost in mind that we engage constructively on how best to promote the responsible use of AI in the military domain. The Philippines supports deepening dialogue and cooperation among all stakeholders on this important topic. Within the United Nations and its disarmament fora, and particularly the Convention on Conventional Weapons, we, along with a small group of states, are calling for a legally binding protocol prohibiting lethal autonomous weapon systems that are designed to be used to conduct attacks outside meaningful human control. An AI arms race will only leave many more behind. These asymmetries are felt not only in the battlefield, but in the economy, in opportunities, and in daily lives of people. AI is not only a tool for self-defense and security, it must also become a force for more equitable, sustainable development for all. Only this will promote its peaceful and more responsible use and greater security for all. AI in the military domain is ultimately about speed in waging war. Speed might be good for war, but perhaps not so much for peace. Delays or pauses in armed conflict are critical breathing spaces for diplomacy to work, for peace to be given a chance. Defense and security calls for more, not less responsible human control. More, not less humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now the floor is to the State Secretary of Defense of Sweden.
Thank you, Chair. There is no doubt that AI is already playing an important role in military technology and military capabilities, and it will do so even more so in the future, so much is clear. AI has the potential to reduce risks for military personnel, to speed up decision-making and increase the endurance of our systems, to give just a few concrete examples. At the same time, AI is a complex subject. It has been made very clear by this summit, I think. It obviously involves technology, but also legal, ethical, psychological, security issues. And this complexity raises concerns, raises risks. And therefore, we have a special responsibility to ensure that international law and other norms, principles and standards regarding AI are implemented and complied with. We need to build systems and use AI in such a way that accountability is required and liability is possible on the parts of states, as well as companies and individuals. At the same time, we need to obviously take advantage of all the opportunities that AI brings in enhancing our defense capabilities. That is important today, perhaps more than ever, given our security environment. So we need to have a broad approach. We need to keep several things in mind at the same time and find a balance between these different perspectives. We must learn from each other. We must develop best practices, norms, and principles together. And we need to work with stakeholders from civil society, academia, and the private sector. And this is precisely why international conferences like the REAIM are so important. This conference doesn't end here. What we have learned over the last 2 days will contribute to richer discussions in our home countries going forward, and that in turn will also make us better participants in the forthcoming international discussions. A discussion which I think has taken a significant step forward during this conference. Finally, let me just echo what everybody else has said. A big thank you for our hosts and our co-hosts for bringing all this together. Well done, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I give the floor to the Under-Secretary General and High Representative for Disarmament Affairs of the United Nations.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished ministers, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank the Kingdom of Netherlands and the Republic of Korea for the opportunity to address this high-level segment of the summit on responsible artificial intelligence in the military domain. This meeting comes at a time when global tensions are rising and the UN Charter is under pressure. As the mounting strategic risks we face are increasingly complex with the growing challenges and uncertainties presented by emerging technologies, multilateral solutions may seem elusive. However, I think this level of complexity should not demoralize, but energize us. AI can positively change many aspects of our lives in general, from its use in healthcare in order to diagnose different diseases, to its potential in automatically recovering systems and networks from cyber vulnerabilities. With necessary oversight, AI-enabled technologies could also enable the accomplishment of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and beyond. This said, let's look at some risks. AI applications in the military domain could potentially change the entire way wars are fought. We are witnessing the potential proliferation of these applications as support tools for strategic, operational, and tactical decision-making. Some of the AI applications could also couple with nuclear command and control, posing new risks to international security and peace. In such a time, it is up to all of us to make responsible and ethical choices when developing AI for the future of humanity and our planet. The bottom line is these technologies can give the false perception of increased readiness to engage in conflict and reduce the barriers and cost to the military forces. So what do we do about this? What can we do? First, states should resist the urge to compete and dominate others when developing artificial intelligence in the military domain. They should not let techno-nationalism run wild in their national strategies and policies. We must forge common understandings of the risks and strengthen cooperation to mitigate such risks. Second, international community should channel its efforts into enhancing the benefits of the AI in the military domain. This could include arms control and verification measures, situational analysis, surveillance, early warning, and logistics. Building on the substantive discussions that have taken place so far on the lethal autonomous weapon systems in the context of the CCW, states should move forward and expeditiously make a progress in that process, and also consider some of the broader discussions on AI applications in the military domain. We need to counter the common misperception that the AI is a matter of big power politics or only relevant to technologically advanced countries. The impact of AI application in the military domain would have consequences across the world, and therefore inclusive international discussions ensuring meaningful participation of the Global South will be key. Likewise, genuine partnership with and participation of multi-stakeholders in these discussions will be key. Finally, we will also have an opportunity in the context of the future summit process. We are developing a new agenda for peace within which trying to develop a new vision for disarmament and arms control will be key. And this conference will be a very important contribution into that process as well. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Then the floor is to the permanent representative on disarmament for the Republic of Brazil.
Thank you. On behalf of the Brazilian government, I join other speakers in congratulating the governments of the Netherlands and Korea for organizing this important, opportune, and timely conference. I take the floor in my capacity as chair of the group of governmental experts related to emerging technologies in lethal autonomous weapon systems. The acronym reads GG-LOS. The group of experts operates within the framework of the Certain Conventional Weapons Convention. The purpose of the convention is to ban or restrict weapons that cause unnecessary suffering or affect civilians indiscriminately, as was the case of the protocol prohibiting laser blinding weapons, so pertinently reminded to us by Mr. Hoekstra. The convention is geared towards the practical application of the rules enshrined in key international humanitarian law instruments, such as the Geneva Convention, the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, not very far from this venue. The Convention's protocols play a crucial role in safeguarding civilians from the scourge of war. The relevance of the group of experts resides in the fact that it's the only body in a position to transition in the short run towards a negotiating multilateral body to regulate the use of laws. In 2023, in light of the GG mandate, I intend to foster discussions on proposals that entail possible measures related to the normative and operational framework of lethal autonomous weapons systems. I admit that I was positively surprised by the engagement and commitment displayed by state parties to the convention last year. Contributions were provided from all quarters, and states were able to coalesce around some shared ideas and perceptions. Agreement over the 2022 report was a small but necessary step. Nevertheless, we should aim higher. I will not deceive you into thinking that the task ahead is an easy one. Substantial gaps need to be bridged. Such differences in perception may even precede the recent deterioration of the international scenario. As you are aware, we are dealing with new technologies. States tend to be very cautious when it comes to regulate weapons systems that are yet to be fully developed. In 2023, the mandate of the group determines that it is to intensify the considerations of proposals and elaborate by consensus possible measures. I sincerely hope that the group will be in a position during this year's session to fulfill its mandate for the second consecutive year. Much remains to be done. Discussions are just scratching the surface. The challenge posed by autonomous weapon systems require deep, well-grounded, good faith-based conversations, lest we risk being overtaken by technological developments which will further complicate matters. Many thanks.
Thank you very much. And then before coming to my, the last but certainly not least speaker on my list, I just wanted to say that after this we are going to move directly to the big room for the photo, and people are standing ready to accompany you. But prior to that, please, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to be the last speaker. First of all, I would like to convey our appreciation to the Netherlands for the initiative and efforts in convening the REAIM summit co-hosted by the Republic of Korea. Artificial intelligence is a strategic and revolutionary technology. In the military domain, how to ensure countries to develop and use AI in a responsible manner consistent with international law is a common challenge posed to the international community. China has always attached great importance to AI security governance. President Xi Jinping pointed out that we should enhance the assessment and prevention of potential risks in the development of AI, safeguard the interests of the people and the national security, and ensure the safety, reliability, and controllability of AI. Over the past years, China has strengthened relevant research on legal, military, technological, and ethical aspects, improved AI-related security governance, and submitted 2 position papers to the United Nations on regulating military applications of AI and strengthening ethical governance of AI. Military applications of AI concerns the common security and well-being of mankind, which requires the united response of all countries. Hereby, I would like to present China's proposals on military application of AI. First, uphold the concept of AI for good. We should embrace a vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable global security. Oppose seeking absolute military advantage and hegemony through AI. We should make sure that military applications of AI would not deepen strategic miscalculation or damage global strategic balance and stability. Secondly, stay committed to putting people's well-being front and center. We should abide by international law and ethics, ensure that weapon systems are always under human control, and establish relevant accountability mechanisms. We should prevent the abuse, misuse, and the malicious use of AI technology, and earnestly respect and safeguard human dignity and rights. Thirdly, adhere to multilateralism. Countries should give full play to the role of the United Nations as the main channel in the AI global governance, constantly enhance the representation and the voice of developing countries, and promote mutual understanding and coordination. We should oppose the politicization of AI issues, remove man-made barriers in the field of science and technology, and ensure the rights of all countries to technological progress and peaceful uses. Ladies and gentlemen, China will continue to maintain communication and exchange with all parties in an open and inclusive manner to help build more consensus on global governance of AI. I wish this conference a success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for your contributions to this conversation, and we hope to continue that for sure in the future. Now I wish to invite you to follow my colleagues who are standing out there to the main room for our group picture. Thank you very much.